Hey guys, it's Corinne here from It's a Crinny. And for today's tutorial, we will be making this super cute Santa ball ornament. Now before we begin, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the It's a Crinny YouTube channel so you get alerts when I make new videos just like this. And if you would like to see step-by-step instructions with pictures and snag the written instructions for the Santa ball, be sure to head on over to my blog at itsocrinny.com. Now, the supplies you need for the Santa ball is, of course, yarn. I am using cotton yarn, which is a weight category of 4, and we are going to be needing red, black, and gold, or deep yellow. If you can't find gold, I could not, so I'm using deep yellow. And the brands that I'm using for this project are Peaches and Cream, and then also Hobby Lobby's in-house cotton yarn brand. Next on the list is a letter D crochet hook, which is a 3.25 millimeter hook. Next, we are going to need a yarn needle, and this is just to weave in the last end and also to make the belt buckle. So you just need a regular yarn needle. You don't need a bent tip. And then you are going to need a stitch marker. If I can pick mine up. The stitch marker is to mark the first stitch of every round, because we will be working in the round, so you want to know where your first stitch is. And then lastly, you are going to need some sort of polyfill. I personally use pillows, and I buy pillows when they're cheap at the store, and I use the stuffing inside because it's way cheaper where I live than buying polyfill right out. So once you have gathered your supplies, we are ready to begin. For round 1, we are going to insert 6 single crochet into a magic ring. That's just my little stay stitch. So we're going to do 1. I like to hold my loop as I start so it doesn't twist up or do anything wonky. So add your stitch marker to the first one. Then we're going to do 2, 3. Uh-oh. I think my yarn got messed up. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay, and then we're going to pull on the magic towel, the magic rings towel, right here, and then close the loop. Now on projects such as this, because they're little and it gets a little tight, I don't like to close my hole completely until after round 2, just because I feel like it makes it harder to get into the stitches in the next round. So after round 1, we will have 6 stitches. Now for round 2, we are going to add an increase into each stitch that we just made in the first round. So an increase in each stitch for the previous round. At the end of round 2, we will have 12 stitches. And as you can tell, I still have a hole in the middle of my project. So after round 2, I like to tug on the magic ring tail, which is here, and close up that hole. As you can see, now it's closed. So now we can move on to round 3. Round 3, all we're going to be doing, that's because we are still increasing the Santa ball, is adding a single crochet into the first stitch, and then we will be adding an increase into the next stitch, and we are going to continue that all the way around. We are going to put a single crochet and then an increase and repeat that all the way around. At the end of round 3, you will have 18 stitches. For round 4, we are going to insert a single crochet into the first stitch, put our little stitch marker, and then a single crochet into the next stitch. So you have single, single, and then we are going to do an increase into the next stitch. And then we are going to repeat that. We are going to do a single, single, and then an increase all the way around. At the end of round 4, you will have 24 stitches. Now for round 5, we are going to insert a single crochet into the first 3 stitches of the round. So single, 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 and then we are going to insert an increase. An increase obviously is just 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So we're going to just repeat that. We're going to do a single crochet into the next 3 stitches and then an increase after that in the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. At the end of round 5 you will have 30 stitches. For rounds 6 and 7 we are going to insert a single crochet into every stitch of the previous round. So just continue single crocheting for round 6, we'll have 30 stitches, and then round 7 where you'll have 30 stitches. When you get to the last stitch in round 7, you want to change over to black. And how you're going to do that is insert, get that out of the way, insert your hook and yarn over and pull up 1 loop on your hook. And then instead of yarning over like you normally would with the red like this and pulling it through and making your single crochet, we are going to pull in the black through your loops like that. So you have black on your hook. And then what you want to do is just pull the red tail tight so that way your loop gets tighter, and then the black one as well. And you're going to just hold that together like so, and then we are going to start onto round 8. For round 8, the first stitch is a slip stitch. So all you're going to do is insert it into the first stitch, and this takes a little bit of maneuvering, so you want to just pull all that tight, and you want to go underneath both the red and the black tails that I'm holding against the top of the Santa ball, and we're going to pull in the black. And then we are going to slip stitch through that stitch that was on our hook. And that is going to be considered our first stitch of the round. And the reason why is because this is going to make the transition a little bit smoother, the color transition. Now, there are methods of doing color transitions in amigurumi more invisible, but those techniques are a little bit more in depth, and so for this pattern I decided just to do this because it's super quick and easy. So for round 8, what you're going to do is just single crochet into every stitch of the previous round except for that first stitch, which is a slip stitch. Every other stitch of round 8 is going to be a single crochet. And as you can see, I am just holding the black and the red tails at the top of the ball, and then I am single crocheting underneath them to keep them down as we go. Now I usually do like 4 or 5 stitches like that, and as you can see right there, and then I like to cut the red, and then we can move these, move my red out of the way. We can move these 2 tails towards the inside of the ball and then just keep going all the way around. At the end of round 8, you will have 30 stitches. For round 9, we will be inserting a single crochet into every stitch of the previous round. And for the first stitch, we are going to do the single crochet into that first slip stitch that we made in round 8. So you're just gonna treat it like it was a normal stitch. And then you are going to insert a single crochet into every stitch of the previous round. When you get to the last stitch of round 9, we want to change back to red. So just like before, you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, have 2 loops on the hook, and then take your red yarn and pull it through, try to hold the tail, and pull it through your loops that you had on your hook. My stitch marker keeps getting in the way. Wants to be all up in my business. Okay, and then you're just going to pull the tails tight so that way the loops are tight. And what you're going to do is take out the stitch marker, and we are going to go to round 10. And for round 10, we're going to insert into the first stitch, and just like we did before, we are going to slip stitch it. And we're going to count that as the first stitch of the round, And then just like we did before, we're going to hold those two tails right there down, and then we are going to single crochet underneath them. So that way you hold them down and you hide them away. You also secure them so they don't come undone. Okay, and after a couple of stitches, I'm going to cut my black. And I'm going to put those tails towards the inside of the ball and try to hold them back so they don't get in my way. And then we are going to add a single crochet into each stitch of the previous round. At the end of round 10, you will have 30 stitches. For round 11, you will insert your first single crochet into the slip stitch that we made at the beginning of round 10. And then we are going to just single crochet into each stitch of the previous round. At the end of round 11, you will have 30 stitches. Now for round 12, we are going to start our decrease. So what you're going to do is insert a single crochet into the first 3 stitches of the round. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to make an invisible decrease in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to make 2 stitches into 1. An invisible decrease, you're going to go under the front loops of both stitches. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and there's your invisible decrease. And then you're going to do 3 single crochets, or a single crochet in the next 3. So we have our decrease, and then 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do the invisible decrease again. You just do that by inserting it underneath the front loop of the first stitch, inserting into the front loop of the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and finish the stitch. You're just going to continue that all the way around. A single crochet into 3 stitches, and then an invisible decrease. At the end of round 12, you will end up with 24 stitches. For round 13, we are going to insert a single crochet into the first 2 stitches of the round. So that's 1, 2, and then we're going to put an invisible decrease. And we are going to repeat this pattern all the way around. You put single crochet, and then an invisible decrease. At the end of round 13, you will have 18 stitches. And as you can see, we are decreasing, so it's making the bottom part of the ball. For round 12, we are going to insert a single crochet into the first stitch, and then put our stitch marker, and my hook came off. And then we're going to do the invisible decrease, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. We're going to do 1 single crochet and then an invisible decrease. At the end of round 14, you will have 12 stitches. And round 14 is the round that you want to stuff your ornament. You can make it as fluffy as you want it. But it's hanging, so if you like overstuff it, you really don't have to worry about it's standing. So unless you want it on a shelf or something, you don't really have to worry about if it sits up or not. Like when I made my Pokemon ball, when I crocheted that, I wanted it to sit up, so I was very careful about how I stuffed it. But for the ornament, it really doesn't matter. So you can stuff it as full or as soft as you would like it. But round 14 is definitely the round you want to stuff it, because if you don't, then round 15 is the end, so you can't get stuffing in after that. So once you have stuffed as much as you want, and it's helpful to use something to stuff the stuffing into the ball. Usually I use the end of my other crochet hook, not this one because this one has the clay on it, but the other one that I have is really thin, so I usually use that. But if your finger can fit, you can also use your fingers. So for round 15, which is the last round of the ball, we are going to do invisible decreases all the way around. So we're just going to do an invisible decrease. Well, it gets a little bit harder when you get to this round. And I like to put my finger in there and try to get the stuffing away from your stitches, because then if it gets in your stitches, then you have to worry about getting all the little fibers out your stitches. So you're just going to do that all the way around. You're going to do a invisible decrease all the way around. At the end of round 15, you will have 6 stitches. So all you want to do to finish off the bow is cut the little tail and leave a little bit for sewing, because we are about to finish the ball off. You're just going to remove your stitch marker because we don't need that anymore. And then you're going to take your yarn needle and thread it. And then we are going to run our yarn needle under each of the 6 stitches from round 15. I like to go through just the front loop of the stitch, but I know every crocheter has a different preference for closing up their crochet. I prefer the first stitch and I pull it tight as I'm going, and I also push it down because I feel like it makes it more flat as we go. And I think I have one more like right here, yeah. And then I do that, and then I just poke it through the center and then pull it through the side. And then I tug on it a little bit, and then you can start playing with the bottom and make it flatter. See? There's my flat bottom. And then we can just tie a little knot in this. I don't think I can do it with the needle on. We're going to tie a knot into this yarn. And I like to put the knot pretty far down as I can, because we are about to pop this knot into the ball. So I just go into the same exact hole that I came out of. Otherwise, you'll leave a stitch. And then you tug on it till the knot goes in. And you're gonna pull this, cut that, and then work the side, and the little end disappears. And if the end doesn't disappear, you can always take your needle and shove it in. So once you have done that, the ball portion of the ornament is finished, and we can move on to his belt buckle. To make Santa's belt buckle, cut a long piece of yellow or gold yarn and then add a knot to one end. And then we are going to thread our yarn needle, and then you're going to see I have some fuzzies from the stuffing. You're going to see where your back is. Obviously, it's where the color changes. And then I like to go through the back and then go find my front where I want this. And this is going to go into the bottom of the black. And you're going to pull this through, but you don't want to tug it too hard because you don't want the knot to pop out the front. And I'm just going to see if that feels like the front to me. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and all we are going to do is sew. We're going to sew the gold. We are going to go into this top one on the black and then go over 2 stitches. And then we are going to go, we're pretty much essentially back stitching. So we're going to go into that one and then come out this one on the bottom, which is even with the other side. And then we are going to turn the ball around. You're going to go into this one and then go into the bottom one. And you can make your belt buckle bigger if you want, but I like it this size, so that's what I'm doing. Okay, and then I just move the yarn like closer in, so that way it starts forming the little belt buckle. And as you can see, there's the first round of it, and I like to go over it twice. Or at least, I guess it's not over it, but like beside it. So I can do that. You could also do a chain, like not chain one, but like a chain. That sounds funny. You could do a chain of stitches and then sew it on, but I did not want to do that. I thought this way was super easy and quick. So I just keep playing with it, and there you have it. There's your belt buckle. And then all that is left to do is add a hanger for our Santa ball ornament after we tie this off. And then I'm going to tie that off just the same way I did the bottom. Put knots, then pull it into another part of the ball, and then cut that. And then you just want to cut. Oh, let's see my end didn't go in. Oh, there it goes. Yay. Okay, all you want to do is cut a couple inches of red, or you could use any color you want. You could also use the yellow or the black. Black could be cute. I'm just using red because it's right here. And then you're just going to go through the top where you think it looks even with your belt buckle. And then you're going to hold on to this side so that way it comes out like this. And you're just going to tie a knot. You also could probably use those ribbons that they sell at Christmas time for the ornaments. Those really pretty like Christmas hangers. You could do that too. And then I'm just going to cut this. And then we are going to pull this and get that knot through. Now, in previous times, the knot has proven quite stubborn. So I worked on it and I gently pulled it, and then I used my needle to gently encourage it. Oh, like that one went way faster than the previous ones. Okay, well then there you go. Make sure your knot is tight so it's small enough to get through. And then once you do that, you have your finished Santa ball. Look, you can hang it on your tree, give it as a Christmas decoration, or even you could put it on top of a package. It would be super cute as that. So, as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the It's So Corny YouTube channel. And be sure to come visit me at my blog at itssocorny.com. And as always, until next time, go make something amazing.